Chapter 27, the final hiding place. As they are riding on this dragon, far and far away, they're getting farther and farther away. Harry's thinking about one, how cold it is up there in the sky, and the fact that he really just want to hold on to this dragon. And also, he's thinking about the fact that what's going to happen when Voldemort finds out what exactly they took from the vault. And I know he probably could tell the others are thinking the same thing. As they're flying farther and farther, they see a lake um, down there, and they decided once the dragon got a little closer to the lake, they would jump off. And they jumped off. It was a little bit farther drop than they thought. They landed in the lake. They swam to the shore, and then Harry immediately started putting the protective spell around them. And then they started discussing what they're gonna do. Harry brought out the cup, um, the cup, the Horcrux. He brought it out, and they all looked at it, and then they were like, "Okay, what's gonna happen when Voldemort finds out what they took?" And at this point, they also don't have the swords, so there's one thing. So they don't know how they're gonna destroy the Horcrux, but they gotta figure out how to get the sword back. And so at this point, they're trying to talk about that. Hermione's worried about the dragon, which isn't really important, but she's just, being Hermione. And then Harry feels his scar hurt a lot. At that moment, that tells him that Voldemort is angry. And then he gets basically a look into what Voldemort's doing. And what he sees is crazy. So Voldemort is basically killing everyone that literally told him the news. They told him, obviously, that the vault was broken into, and then they told him what was taken. And once he learned that the cup was taken, he was irate. He killed everybody around him, like Malfoy and Bellatrix had to duck to dodge the spells that he was launching. A bunch of green going around everywhere. And yeah, he was just killing everybody. Mostly the goblins. Anyone who else caught a stray. It happens a lot in these books. Someone just catches a stray spell and just dies, just like that. But then he thought about, he's like, what? So Harry was hearing Voldemort's thoughts. He was thinking about the fact that, how does Harry know about these Horcruxes? And he's like, how does Harry know about the cup? And then he thought about the other Horcruxes. He's like, I already lost the diary, but I didn't feel it when it was gone. He's like, I probably feel it when it was destroyed. So obviously Voldemort does not know the locket and the ring have been destroyed either. And then flashes in Voldemort's mind were of the other locations of the Horcruxes. So there was the cottage, which is where the ring was. The cave, obviously, where the locket was. And then he thought of Nagini, which is next to him, so he has one on him. The diary, which is gone. Then the cup. So that's what, 5? And then what's left, he thought of, there's one at Hogwarts. And Harry was like, oh, there's one at Hogwarts. So, but then Voldemort's like, that one's safe. So Voldemort decides, I'm going to go check on the locations and how the other ones are. He's going to go check one by one the other Horcruxes to see if they're still there. And he's like, I'm going to check on the ring first, and then I'm going to check the others. He's going to check Hogwarts last because he assumes that one is safe because Snape is at Hogwarts. And he's like, Harry's not going to be able to come into Hogwarts because of the protective spells. And even if he gets into Hogsmeade, he'll be spotted immediately. So he's really underestimating Harry, I think, at this point. And at that point, then Harry comes back to himself. He's laying on the ground. He's got Ron and Hermione looking at him. They obviously have a feeling of what has happened. And he tells them that Voldemort knows that the Horcrux is gone from the vault, and that he's going to check the locations one by one. So Harry's like, we got to go to Hogwarts now and get this other Horcrux before Voldemort gets to it. So Harry picks up his cloak and says, let's go. Hermione's like, wait, no. He's like, nah, we are going right now. So then they get in their cloak and apparate off to Hogsmeade. So the tide is kind of turned. It's kind of turned. They're on their, he's realizing what they've been doing now, Voldemort, and he's kind of, antsy. He's gonna keep Nagini with him close by at all times, and I don't think he knows that the sword is a thing that can destroy. Maybe he does. But now they've just got to figure out, they've got to grab the other Horcrux and find a way to get the sword back, or find another object that can destroy the Horcrux. Most likely, they're going to have to try to get the sword back, because I don't know if they've even heard of another object that could do it. Maybe, yeah, I don't think they've heard another object that could do it. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Hopes are high right now, especially if they get this next Horcrux.